I kind of feel like this whole review should just be us driving silently.
You made a comment during the movie, Seth, that I couldn't agree with more.
Which we usually don't talk during movies, but in this case...
What'd I say?
They're playing these war games, the Rim Pack games, and you know, you were right. There is absolutely no more appropriate name they could have come up with, because I felt like my rim was getting packed that entire movie.
You know, I actually had kind of a good time, because as I'm watching the movie, I'm going, no, they're not going to do that. Oh, they did. And then I would laugh. And then next scene, like, no, they're not going to go that far. Oh, and they did. Favorite scene in the movie is when they get back to the battleship and all the sailors, the old sailors, are like cinematically placed in their stations with sailor suits on.
I just expected him to say, "Welcome aboard, son. We've been posing for the last 4 hours waiting for you to get here."
Oh, dude, what about that stupid buoy thing? You can see Hawaii in the midst of this buoy map, and they're like able to hit these things.
I called it, didn't I?
Those things have got to be like 8 miles apart.
You called it. I just felt like the filmmakers were setting us up the entire time to wish for the annihilation of humanity. They spent the first 20 minutes introducing us to the most boring, annoying, self-centered characters you could imagine. How the am I supposed to root for humanity when those are our representatives?
You know what the really stupid part is? They never actually established what the aliens were there to do. They don't harm anybody innocent, and they only really reacted once they were fired on, and then we just annihilate them. And
no, they established what they were going to do. They were trying to set up transport to take over Earth, essentially.
They didn't say that.
And they were demolishing any threat.
They literally used every single alien invasion sci-fi convention of the past. The alien grabs Taylor Kitsch's head, and suddenly he sees what their plans are. Independence Day. They open the movie with the preview line from Skyline. If alien life is out there and it comes to visit us, it's going to be like Columbus and the Indians. Only we're the Indians. Could you pick a worse movie to rip off? I mean, come on.
Did that entire movie seem like a commercial to you?
Yes.
Start to finish. Coke Zero, blatant product placement. Subway product placement. Jeep product placement. I don't even know how much money the Navy paid for that movie.
The Navy is the only reason this movie actually got finished.
Yeah, there's no...
Because I guarantee you, the producers were sitting there looking at the dailies going, what the f*** have we unleashed on the world? We have to stop this. And the Navy was like, no, you ain't stopping this ship. This one goes all the way to port, baby.
His opening speech, his brother's speech that he gives him about how he has to join the Navy, he's just all of a sudden yelling at him.
Was the relationship between those two brothers like the most boring, wooden, unfamilial thing you've ever seen?
So boring.
I was just like, they're celebrating their birthday together and they both look like they could not be more bored hanging out with each other.
More miserable.
Like, all either of them wants to do is go away and not be around the other person.
I think that the scene where he breaks into the convenience store and then gets tased a couple of times was pretty funny.
It was funny, but somehow they managed to make it boring. It's like,
I know, it was boring.
I felt like this was a prime opportunity, because if you're going to go the shitty summer blockbuster route, why not have fun with it? Why not make it a fun summer blockbuster? It's not like this movie was unredeemably bad to the point where it couldn't have been fun. It's just the way it was handled was so wooden. It's like someone had a stick rammed way up their ass when they made this thing. Like they just couldn't get the fun of it. I don't know who to blame, because I know the director. He directed The Rundown and Hancock, both of which were very fun movies. So he clearly knows how to direct a fun movie. I just don't understand where the fun went. Also, I have to say, the script really felt like it was written by two guys who were busy doing other things. Like maybe they were playing a game of Battleship while they wrote the script. Because that's all I could think. The writing was so boring and so first draft, it was embarrassing. There's no way you couldn't have made it better simply by going through and making the dialogue less boring.
Not to mention the fact that that whole, military crowd is so boring.
You know, I don't have a problem with the military. What I have a problem with is these advertisements for the military. And this movie was one long advertisement for the Navy that made me want to do anything but ever join the Navy.
Oh God, yes. I just expected accelerate your life to come up at any moment.
Where the was the guy, I can't remember his name, the black guy from The Thing. He's also in Something About Mary. That guy, he does the Navy commercials, for God's sake. That guy would have been great. Have him doing the pitches and the speeches. Why not make him the uncle of Taylor Kitsch? Hey, it's the progressive future, okay? White guy could have a black uncle, no problem. Make him the guy who gets him into the Navy. He could have made that speech 10,000 times better. He wouldn't even have had to yell. He could have just been standing there. You're going to get your life together, son. You're going to join me in the Navy. And I would have been like, yeah, join the Navy, man.
But his brother's just like shouting at him and there's no emotion in it and you just hate it.
It's just the deadest angry I've ever seen. Everything about this movie was just boring.
Seriously, if it was just awesomely bad, that'd be fine. Just so unremarkably boring.
I feel like there are people that are going to like it though.
Oh, dude, I was in the bathroom afterwards taking a leak with a couple of solid Americans. One of them looks at the other, goes, so what'd you think? The other one goes, top notch. The other says, yeah, that was a really good movie. And they were not joking. They were 100% serious. After seeing that movie, I can't say the words top notch or really good movie with the level of sincerity they were exuding in that bathroom.
Are Americans that stupid? Is this thing really going to get $48 bajillion in its opening weekend?
I was blown away by the fact that we arrived at the theater and they had a sign in the window for the midnight release of Battleship.
What is the draw in that movie? Nobody gives a shit about Battleship.
People who are still impressed by special effects will be impressed because the special effects were top-notch. But like I said earlier, that is the minimum requirement, is top-notch special effects.
But didn't it even come out in 3D?
I have no idea.
I'm sure it did. If it didn't, it really should have.
I have to imagine it would have been better in 3D, but I couldn't even say because it was just so disappointing on every level. With the exception, and this was what really blew my mind, of Liam Neeson, who was like the only guy acting in the movie. But at the same time, it's like, I read a book about a guy who wanted to make a cheap movie, and he was going to use non-actors, so his instructions to everybody were just say the lines, don't try to act. Because the argument goes, in a movie where nobody knows how to act, anybody who can act, even remotely, ruins the thing for everyone involved. This is the example he used, which I thought was a great example. You go to a party, and there's a guitar there. And one guy picks it up, and he knows how to play a rough version of Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. And another guy picks it up, and he knows how to play whatever the that Blind Melon song was about my life being pretty plain. And then another guy picks up the guitar and he can do a crappy version of Nirvana's Polly. Everyone was having fun playing a nice version of some song that they know. But then the guy who actually knows how to play the guitar sits down and makes them all look like
and himself.
Yeah, it's not hard to look great when you're surrounded by mediocrity. So I kind of feel bad that Liam Neeson was doing a great job in that movie. It would have been better if he just really phoned it in.
Seriously, can you guys think of anything good about Battleship? Anything?
It was not unduly long. That is the highest praise I can give this movie.
For as short as the movie was, it was like they were trying to get time the whole movie. The whole sequence with like the alien on the ship, one dude on the ship, and you're just like, I am so bored. There is a ship with like 5,000 aliens right there, and this.
I had that exact same thought during every scene that the guy's girlfriend was in. Why the am I watching this? This does not need to be included, okay? Yes, all right. Finally, they ended up serving some purpose, but that could have been served by anybody. Any character could have served that purpose.
They needed time. They're trying to make up time, so they started this subplot that was totally unnecessary so they could eat up 20
I have to think that they had like a 60-minute script, and it was like, we got to make this 120 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever it was.
Her whole character.
So they just put in this whole B-plot about a guy who had his legs blown off. And for the record, I'm not trying to make fun of the guy with his legs blown off, but that was an interesting thing too. Seeing the man with no legs standing there holding an M16, what was going to happen to that guy as soon as he fired that gun? I'll show you what was going to happen. Bam! Right on the ground. That's what was going to happen to the man with no legs firing an M16. It was embarrassing.
Boring.
Oh. It was just awful. It was just truly awful on every level. Thinking about it, I am so angry at that movie for being so awful. I was not this angry when I was watching it. I am more angry in retrospect.
This may be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen worse movies, but they were worse in like a good way almost. This one was just so bad, it was like so forgettable and so boring.
It's so incredibly bad you could really just do a full play-by-play on why every single scene sucked.
I can't... This movie is a piece of Do not watch it. If you have any affection for yourself or the people you would otherwise have taken to see this steaming piece of dog don't do it. I'm creating a new category today. 10 to Battleship. Battleship and Aragon. Those are the two movies that are at the absolute bottom scale of my rating system. This movie gets a rating of Battleship.
How bad was that movie? Battleship bad.
It's Battleship bad. Learn from our mistake.
Don't see this movie. It sucks. It is a terrible movie.
If you hate yourself, watch this movie.
If you're a masochist, watch this movie.
If there is somebody who you want to tell that you hate but don't know how to do it, give them a ticket to Battleship.
Okay, all right. Numbers.
Battleship.
Battleship.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that. It was just that bad.
0 out of 10.
I can't say 0 out of 10. No.
All right, I will give it a 0.5 out of 10 for the minimum requirement of having excellent special effects. It did have better special effects than Aragon,
Yeah,
so I can say that much for it. That is the only way in which it was better than Aragon, which is the worst movie of all time.
I just know that there are people that are just gonna like this movie a lot too.
It sucks because it's like this patriotic theme, and then it makes you feel like a jerk because you're supposed to like it. It's bad. It's bad. But we should be done.
The end.
I can't think about Battleship.
There's no good way to end this review, Adam. That's why. There is no good way to stop talking about Battleship other than to just stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's it. I'm out.